How's it going, trainers? So there's been a serious problem with the in-game shop boxes in Pokémon Go. I know a lot of people have been saying things like, they're trash, they suck, they're bad, but just why are they considered bad? And is there a way they could be improved upon? Well, that's what we're here to discuss today, so without further ado, let's get into it. Welcome back, everyone. So if you've played Pokémon Go over the past few months, I'm sure you've noticed some of the problems that have been persistent. There's been a number of lackluster events, lack of communication from Niantic, and a bunch of game-breaking bugs, just to name a few. But along with these issues, the one thing that always comes up during every single event is that the in-game shop boxes are really disappointing. Literally, there hasn't been one time I've gone on social media after a new event drops, and my feed isn't filled with upset comments pertaining to these boxes. But to be honest, I don't blame them, and I completely understand their frustration. What was once an amazing resource for trainers wanting to do more raids, hatch more eggs, and earn more Stardust and XP has now become nothing more than a sorry excuse for a cash grab. So what's the real deal with these boxes? Well, there's three main problems with the boxes that people are upset about, and those are the prices, value, and lack of a specific item that I'll talk about later. So let's kick things off by talking about the first problem, and that's the recent box prices. Now, when boxes were first introduced in Pokémon Go, there was a lot of fluctuation with their prices. We've had boxes that went for 250 coins, 980 coins, and even ones that go for almost 2,500 Pokecoins. However, over the past few years, we've seen boxes stabilize around 3 different price points. There's been small boxes that go for 480 coins, medium boxes that go for 780, and large boxes that go for 1480. Personally, I would say this range is pretty reasonable, as it has something for players of all budgets and playing intensities. Like for the casual player who really doesn't spend a lot, you have the budget small and medium boxes to choose from. But for the more hardcore players who frequently drop cash in the game, you have the value-heavy large boxes. Though regardless of what type of player you are, it's clear that many players go for the large Ultra and Adventure boxes since they contain the most bang for your buck. Now, going back to those 3 price points, we saw boxes with these prices up until the end of last summer. But just before the end of the season of Go, trainers noticed that the next box rotations had some interesting price points. The prices for both the small and medium boxes remained relatively close to their usual price. However, with the Ultra box, we saw an increase to 1,900 Pokecoins. While this doesn't seem like a huge increase, we're looking at about $4 more per box, which is about 28% more than what an Ultra box previously cost. But it didn't just end there. Throughout the season, we saw box prices continue to increase, with some costing upwards of almost 2,300 Pokecoins. And with this inflation, it was clear that far more players were unwilling to pay those prices compared to those that were. Now, an increase in prices wouldn't be terrible, as long as you were getting a good amount of value back. However, this leads us into the next issue with these boxes that affected them across the board. You see, for the longest time, the shop boxes offered anywhere from 1.5 to 2 times the price you were paying. However, once we got into the Season of Light, we saw the value for many of these boxes cap around 1.5 to just breaking even. One such example was the Creepy Crate that was available during the Halloween event. In this particular bundle, you got a Super Incubator and 2 regular incubators for 425 coins. That meant you were getting an extra 75 coins of value, which isn't really a whole lot when you're spending almost $5 on a box. Still though, you're getting a deal on some items, right? Well, something interesting about this box is that we have one that offered the exact same items in mid-September, but that particular box cost only 399 coins. I'm not sure why they would raise the price on the same box a month later, but when I saw that, I was just really disappointed in the loss of value. Now, another instance we saw a less than valuable box was during September's Test Your Metal event. The Ultra box for that event ran for 2,299 coins and came with 3 premium passes, 3 remote passes, 10 super incubators, and 5 regular incubators. At a glance, this box seems like a decent deal, but the thing about this box is that it's fairly similar to the season box. The only difference was that it added a premium and remote pass to the lot, and another 400 coins to the price tag. Now, normally when there's a price increase on digital items, the value also increases but exceeds that price change. However, for this event, we would be paying an additional $4 for $2 worth of items. Gotta be honest, guys, there would be absolutely no circumstance where I'd even remotely recommend buying this box. Now, despite the criticisms of both these boxes, at least they offered some sort of semblance of a plus from your purchase. There were a few boxes throughout the season with items that didn't even cover the cost being charged. This was especially notable during the Psychic Spectacular back in September. In the shop, there was a catch box during this event that contained 2 Ultra Balls, 5 Incense, 25 Great Balls, and 2 Lucky Eggs. Now you're probably thinking that sounds like a horrible deal, and you're absolutely right. There was so much of an uproar from the community about it that within 12 hours, Niantic made alterations by adding more Pokeballs to the bundle. But even then, it really didn't do much to save it. Now this event also had a bronze box which contained 5 Ultra Balls, 1 Incense, 20 Pokeballs, and 10 Great Balls for 150 coins. Realistically, if you bought 5 of this box, plus 2 Lucky Eggs, you would have the exact same items as the catch box, and you'd save 100 coins. When it comes to buying box bundles, there should never be a reason where the small box is a better value than the large box. Now, as we said at the start of the video, there's been one particular item that's been scarce in these boxes. Ask any hardcore raider what's been missing, and they tell you there's been a serious lack of raid passes in pretty much every box throughout the season. Now, normally outside of buying individual passes in the shop, the boxes were the only way to get a bulk amount of them, and usually at a discounted rate. In a $15 Ultra box, we'd usually see 16, 18, or even 20 pass bundles. Plus, there would be several incubators and star pieces to add a little extra value to it. Once the Season of Light kicked off in September, we saw a substantial drop in passes, with some waves of boxes even offering no raid passes whatsoever. The first instance of this was in the Seasonal Ultra box, a box widely known for having a decent amount of passes to at least cover the price tag. With this particular box, however, Niantic favored an incubator theme, with the box only having 4 passes total, 2 premiums and 2 remotes. This was a really tough pill to swallow for the community, and even more so to those that consider themselves hardcore raiders. But despite the disappointing look of this first box, I'm sure many of us thought that would be better in later events. However, contrary to that belief, the trend of low to no raid pass bundles continued throughout the entire season. The most passes we had access to was available during the Evolving Stars event, but even then, they weren't exactly good in the pass to price ratio. Now, what made these boxes even worse was how the raid-themed boxes were handled. Many continued to offer a scarce amount of passes, with some only offering 3 remote passes as compensation. I mean, just take a look at the boxes we got for the Ultra Beast Arrival Day last month. As you can see, the Ultra Raid box contained 5 premiums for 1900 Pokecoins, while the Master Raid box contained 3 remotes for 2000 Pokecoins. For an event set around doing a ton of Ultra Beast raids, it certainly seems like they wanted to make it difficult to do just that. So now that we've talked about some of the problems with these boxes, you're probably thinking of ways that they can be improved upon. Personally, I've come up with 3 potential solutions that I think could fix a lot of the problems that we've seen. So a good place to start with these boxes is to bring back the standard prices for the medium and large boxes. While a lot of boxes we've seen had decent value, what really held them back were their higher than normal price points. I think if they kept their items but lowered the price tags a bit, they would be looked upon more favorably, which of course means more purchased. Another option would be to create a set of seasonal boxes that are always present over the 3-month period. Then as we have various events, Niantic could add event boxes of various values and price points. That way trainers would have access to consistent and decently priced boxes, but also go for event boxes if they offered a better deal on the items they needed. The final option I can think of regarding raid passes would be to add bundles of passes to the shop. Personally, I think this would be the best option for Niantic to do, as it would allow raiders to get passes at any time. And this would also be good for Niantic because they'd be encouraging in-person raiding as well. And if a box cycle isn't great, at least they have a way to get bulk passes at a discount so they can continue raiding. So like I said, I think this option helps both the player and Niantic. But that about does it for this discussion about the Pokémon Go shop boxes. And now we want to know what you think about the solutions we pitched, and if you have any of your own that might work as well. So be sure to let us know down in the comments. And if you enjoyed the breakdown, then consider giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. Now, despite my negative feelings regarding the boxes, I'm slightly optimistic we'll see some good value boxes return during the annual holiday event this week. The boxes for last year's event were also really good, which is probably why Niantic left them in the shop so long, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens this year. So until then, thank you all so much for watching, I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.